And Shubha Ji, one of the very, very important aspects, which I cannot let you, go without asking about, is the fact that you also went into a pop genre and actually managed to sing in spite of being a classical performer. You just broke through so successfully and went across and just rocked the world of indie pop as well. And then, like even today, people remember and are singing those songs. In fact, right now, I had someone in the comments saying that Huna Huna, they really love that song.
Yes.
I love it too. In fact, I love Sikho Na also,
Yes.
one of my very favorite songs. So, can you tell us what inspired this move for you, and do you think it's impacted, your classical audiences in any way positively?
Actually, I never thought that it was a big deal. I mean, I
Wow.
really thought it was like, learning so many other things. Like I've sung for dance, I've sung with dancers, I've sung bhajans, I've sung. So I thought it's another experience that I'm going through, and I had no idea whether anybody will like it or not. It just so happened that there were music directors like Jawahar Vatal and Shantanu Moitra who were ready to work. They invited me. Otherwise, I would have never dreamt of doing any of these projects on my own. But they were open to the idea of working with different people, and they invited me, Jawahar for Ali More Angna and Shantanu for Abke Savan, and so I got the opportunity to work um, in a different sort of form, and I was completely unfamiliar with that form. I didn't have a band. Normally, when people release an album of popular music, it's usually followed with a kind of promotional tour with many, many. I had no band. I only knew those songs in the album. So I had nothing that was preparing me for the world of popular music. But I have to say that I learned a lot. And it was a very big challenge for me, which I mean, a musical challenge. The rest I never thought of. And there is no guarantee when you work on any project that it will be well received. All you can do is sing and work with integrity and sincerity. And I've been lucky that some people liked those songs very much, and I'm identified with those. I mean, look, when did I record Apke Sawan? This is
90s.
1999,
Yes.
and it's 2022, and it's still people are playing that and
Yes.
singing that. So
Yes.
I think it was a good song. I was lucky to get the song, and I was lucky to be able to work with people like Shantanu, who said, "Okay, let's." I mean, he could very well have gone to anybody who was an expert and a specialist in popular music. He
Right.
chose to work with me, and I'm grateful for that. So,
In fact,
uh,
I would say that, the fact that, nothing changed about you when you actually made the crossover. Like the way you looked, the way you presented, everything remained the same. And still, it was such amazing, like such amazing rendition, I would say, that it's popular even today. And also, do you feel, Shubhaji, that when you did that song and then, in your classical performances, did you have people come up and say, no, I think, you should have been a purist? It usually happens sometimes. So, did you have any more audiences because it became popular, or less audiences
I've
in your
had a
classical?
problematic sort of. I mean, you can never predict.
Yeah.
I have tried to be very honest about what I'm going to sing in a concert,
Mm.
and my primary work is with classical music. So when I sing, I try to indicate through every possible way that this is going to be either this popular music concert or a classical music. I don't mix the two.
Mm.
I find it's really problematic to sing a rag first, then suddenly start singing Sikhona, then suddenly start singing Rangilo Maro Dolna. I can't do that in one evening. I feel it's a different setup. It's an entirely different orientation. And I feel that when I'm singing popular music, I sing that occasionally. I don't sing it as much as I sing classical music. And I think it's important to give the right message about what the audience can. I mean, when you go to listen to a concert, let's say of Kabir Bhajans, where on earth are you going to ask for Rangilo Maro Dolna in that? Why ask for it then?
Exactly.
I mean, the publicity says this is a concert or a festival of Kabir Bhajans. अभी उसमें कबीर में मैं कहाँ से ढोलना ले आऊँ? You know? So the instruments are different.
Yes.
Everything is different, and it's a different repertoire. And I've tried to do that, but yes, there are times when organizers don't want to give the correct message. There are times when people don't want to read. I mean, if
Mm.
you're reading that Shubha Mudgal is singing in a Malhar concert with so and so on tabla, so and so on harmonium and sarangi, so and so on tanpura, how on earth are you going to think that it's going to be
Abke
Abke
Sawan.
Sawan?
Oh my God,
So
yeah.
yeah, so I think those issues do crop up now and again, but I've made it a rule one or the other, and no confusion.
Yeah, yeah. I think that way everybody goes home happy, actually.
I hope so.
Now we come to our second audience poll, and once again we've got this time we've got genres, different genres that you'd like to hear from Shubha Ji. So I'm going to tell you 5 things that you can pick from. One is Dadra Mishra Khamaj.
I've already sung that.
You did
Yeah.
actually. So don't pick on that. We've got Hori, we've got Kajri, we've got Chaiti, and we've got Jhula. So Hori, Kajri, Chaiti, or Jhula. Tell me which one would you want to listen to from Shubha Ji right now. Quickly go ahead and look at the poll on your screens. Go ahead and pick your choice, and then let's make her sing what you want to hear most right now. And also, we got so many people sending in their claps and messages. Thank you so much. And well, ma'am has been singing quite a few things. We request you to sing a pop song. Okay.
मुझे आरटीएम में से निकाल देंगे ये लोग देखो
Yeah. So no, this is right now. Yeah, like just now she said, right? She sticks with one thing.
Yes.
So today it's Hindustani Classical all the way. And well, also Shubha Ji, you're known to be very very passionate about issues concerning artists and stuff. So some of the prime concerns that you think that young musicians need to be aware of in today's day and time.
Well, I think it's important to establish that every artist must be given due respect and due acknowledgement. Even today, I find that so many concerts take place where my name will be mentioned, but not the accompanying musicians. I think it would be it would be impossible for me to perform without any accompanying musicians. Their skill, their contribution to my music is very important, and I know that it really adds to what I am doing. And so I think it's important that we give due importance to accompanying musicians as well. We give due importance to instrument makers. How many of us acknowledge our instrument makers? And I think that if we don't do that, then we're going to be in a very sorry space. I know so many instrument makers who feel that it's better that their children and their people who will carry on their legacy move on to another profession, because it's just not, you don't get the respect and the acknowledgement and the recognition that you should. So I think it's important for us as students of music to ask that all of these people who are working perhaps not in the right in front, but without whom we couldn't make music, I think it's important to acknowledge them, to give them all the due awards, recognition, whatever we can, and of course respect them for the work, their specialization. It's also important that just because a person is young, you don't exploit them and say that, listen, if you want to sing, I'm going to own you now, and I'm going to own your music and your recording, and I'll do what the hell I want to do with it. I think that's not on. I think in today's world, if you want young people to be musicians, you have to respect all the laws that are very much a part of the legal system in our country. So if a performance, you're calling them for a performance, treat it as a performance. Don't start taking audio video rights without asking any of them. These are the only things that
often.
Yeah, so often.
Yes.
And young people don't feel empowered to say anything, and if they do, they become troublemakers.
Absolutely.
So I think it's important that we should, these are laws made by our wonderful nation, so why should we not respect those laws?
Exactly.
I think it's important to create an atmosphere where people will feel like being musicians and not say that I can't do anything now, so let me be a musician. But listen, if I had a chance to do anything else, I would do something else.
Yeah, in fact, on that note, when you said, the accompanying people and the people making the instrument should get equal importance, I was just thinking that, the amount of talim that the artist itself puts in, the same amount of talim they also do.
Absolutely.
And even a person who's making the instrument is making for years on end.
Yes.
It's not something that's happening overnight.
Generations have specialized in making certain instruments, and these instruments are not going to be made outside of India.
Exactly.
So they're very much a part of the Indian system, and it's important that we really give them due respect.
Beautiful. Wonderful thing to say. And we've got our poll results. I was going to quickly ask for it again. Great. Thank you so much. Yes, we've got Kajri getting the maximum polls right now.
Mausam ki cheez hai.
Absolutely.
Yes. 1 second. So the Kajri has actually come in from the folk forms, in the Pura Bang. So very often you will find a Kajri actually being sung, the same Kajri being sung also by folk musicians, and it has also come into the repertoire of Thumri.
Wow.
So this is a seasonal song form, Kajri, and I'm going to sing you one of the many types of Kajris.
Okay.
So, घेर घेर आवे घन करिया अरे सांवरिया घेर घेर आवे घन करिया अरे सांवरिया रिम झिम बरसे बदरिया रिम झिम बरसे बदरिया छन छन चमक बिजुरिया अरे सांवरिया घेर घेर आवे घन करिया अरे सांवरिया घेर घेर आवे घन करिया अरे सांवरिया पिया संग झूलत नवल गुजरिया पिया संग झूलत नवल गुजरिया गावत सरस कजरिया अरे सांवरिया घेर घेर आवे घन करिया अरे सांवरिया.
Wow. Actually have goosebumps. So
Thank you.
wonderful, wonderful, so beautiful. And in fact, the way the interpretation is just creating that magic, no, Shubha Ji?
Yes, this is actually in a lot of folk forms there is a template. Like this Are Samariya template, you will find many kajris with this Are Samariya at the end, and this is the traditional tune. But when we are singing it as Thumri Dadra exponents, we add a little bit of stylization to it. We add a little bit of elaboration to it. But the charm and the simplicity of that original piece has to be maintained. And then, of course, it's like you bring in the accent of Ragdari music into it, but you keep the charm of the folk form intact.
Wow. And that itself, I think, you need to have a proficiency to do that itself.
Yes, you need to
Wow.
spend time with it and
Yes.
sort of internalize it.
Wow, beautiful. In fact, one other question I needed to ask you was, the music circles, the conferences, AIR, Doordarshan, and some of the corporate and government bodies as well used to be promoting classical in a huge way. And right now, with the advent of satellite television, and that support has kind of slightly gone down. So, do you think that it's negatively impacting the classical music circuit? And how can we actually better it? Do you think that the advent of the internet, the television, the satellite television is pulling it down?
Radio really played a very big role, and for people in my generation, it was very important to audition for radio and become radio artists. And we still have young people auditioning for radio and singing on radio. But yes, the frequency has gone down. Now, I think with the advent of Prasar Bharati, the kind of funds that were available for classical music, and for not just classical music but lots of traditional forms like folk music, for qawwali, etc., has dwindled. But I'm hoping that this is not going to be a permanent issue, and I'm also hoping that new supporters will come. In fact, I am hoping that one day, and I'm crossing my fingers right here on this class, that one day we'll have an Artium Academy classical festival as well. So I hope that one day we can present that, because we have such wonderful teachers, you have such wonderful students. And of course we appreciate those who are not our students and teachers also.
True.
So I'm hoping that someday we will be able to, our prime thrust would of course be the teaching. But why not a showcase of the talent that we so enjoy and we so respect? So I'm hoping that new supporters will come up. And I think new ways of support, whether through streaming platforms or through specially designed, curated performances. There's a lot of music, Lavanya ji, which we don't hear on stage.
Yes.
अब हम शाम के ही कार्यक्रम सुनते हैं, सुबह के दोपहर के तो होते ही नहीं हैं.
Right.
So I think we have a lot of music that needs to be heard. We have a lot of discussions to happen. We have to have guided listening to help people understand what is it about this that you're going gaga over. So I
True.
think all of that, if we can possibly find supporters for, and I'm sure we will, because when you listen to a person singing well, doesn't that make your heart warm?
Absolutely.
So I
Absolutely.
think hopefully we will find more supporters, new supporters, and new ways of supporting.
Wow, that's extremely optimistic. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed on that as well. And we've got a performance once again right now. Nidhi Panda, she's a student, and the teacher is Kushali Agarwal. And Nidhi, are you here with us? Kushal Agarwal. Okay, we've got Nidhi Panda and Kushal Agarwal. Okay. Nidhi is here with us. Hi, Nidhi.
नमस्ते मैम.
नमस्कार. गुस्से में तो नहीं है ना?
नहीं.
सच में ना? मैंने देख
हाँ.
लिया था
I
आपका
know.
कमेंट. गुस्सा
Right.
फेंक दीजिए. नहीं,
Right,
गुस्सा
right.
आराम से, बिल्कुल प्यार से गाइएगा. चलिए.
हाँ जी मैम. मैम, it's an honor to perform in front of you.
My pleasure.
मोरी गगरना भरन दी तह मोरी गगरना भरन दी तह पैया पकर मुसे करा तरार पैया पकर मुसे करा तरार मोरी गगरना भरन दी तह मोरी गगरना भरन दी तह बार बार समझा रही हूँ बार बार समझा रही हूँ भीता लंगर मोरा कहन मानू गीता लंगरा कहन मानू हार गई मैं हार गई हार गई मैं तो हार गई मोरी गगरना भरन दी तह मोरी गगरना भरन दी मम गई गरिसा गगरना भरन दी सनि ध पम गरिसा गगरना भरन सद पद म पग म पम गरि गरिसा गगरना भरन मधनि मनि ध प म गरि गरिसा गगरना भरन दी तह पैया पकर मुसे करा तरार मोरी गगरना भरन दी तह Thank
Very
you, ma'am.
nice. Very nice.
Shivaji, what would you like to say to Nidhi?
आपको एक बात बताऊं, I also learnt this composition when I was learning Yaman, but slightly differently. But I'm happy to hear it again because बहुत सालों बाद मैंने ये बंदिश सुनी. So, are you enjoying your lessons? Tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
Then you must keep learning, practicing, listening, and listening to your guru. Huh? So you've got a nice voice. That is one very big factor. But शास्त्रीय संगीत के लिए आपको बहुत कुछ सीखना पड़ेगा. Remember to be committed to it, and the very best to you as well as to your guru. Enjoy your lessons and keep singing beautifully.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Nidhi.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for joining us. And with that, in fact, Shubha Ji, I'd love to ask you before we go, what is it that you'd love to tell students who are learning Hindustani classical music going forward? What is it? What is your advice to them?
I can only say that, for me, I keep saying this in many, many conversations and in interviews, and I say it, I mean every word of what I'm saying, that I'm truly grateful for the gift of music in my life. And this has really been a companion that really has seen me through good times, bad times, indifferent times, even the pandemic. So I think you have a great friend in music in your lives. You have the ability to be sitting at your home thanks to technology and this entire course to be able to continue learning. I can only wish you more and more and more music in your lives. I hope it brings for you the same kind of companionship and friendship and beautiful times that it has brought me. I'm a very good listener, I must tell you. So as all of you continue to learn and sing beautifully, you will have one person in the audience for sure.
Wow.
So please regale me with your wonderful singing. And thank you to each of the teachers who is part of the academy. My namaskar to all of you. You are doing something wonderful, sharing your knowledge with all of these lovely students. I'm grateful for that. And of course, I'm always there in case you want to discuss anything. In case we want a review of the course, I'm always open to that, because as I said, I learn each time I meet all of you. So thank you for this opportunity.
Wow. And, in fact, by saying what she said, that she's going to be listening to you, you better prepare yourself really well. Extra riyaz kar lena, because Shubha Ji is going to be listening to you as well. So thank you, each of you who've joined the masterclass today, and for all your support and wonderful hearts and, thumbs up that kept coming for each of the performances. And I hope you've got a book full of notes, because, I'm going to take away so much from here. So I'm sure you have much more things to take away as students as well. So do hope that you've gotten all your notes and you're going to keep referring to it for lifetime and keep learning.
Thank you,
Shubha Ji,
Lavanya ji.
what a wonderful experience to chat with you yet again. I've already spoken to you before, and it's just so beautiful. Thank you for being here.
Many thanks to you.
And you've been truly, truly illuminating for our students. Thank you so much.